Was a bitch. All I wanna do is this. Motherfucker don't know. DERELL in this bitch. Niggas like to go low, but they can't get with this. Nigga trying to make money, starting off real hard. Nigga couldn't even go. Wanna know what's the show? DERELL on the mic. YouTube streets in the night. Doing all that he could. Nigga gon' keep it hood. But the haters won't top me. Motherfuckers won't block me. Assholes gon' flag me. Motherfuckers can't stop me. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas wanna sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas better sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. DERELL getting lit, yo. DERELL like FICO. DERELL score higher than a 7-800. That's not a typo. DERELL on horizon. Channel road is higher. Troller trying to play me. They a motherfucking liar. AFW on a corner. Can't depend on honor. She recruit another sect. Now she is a wreck. Lame niggas in another space. Seeing dollar signs in this place. Good guys gonna protect the place. Trying to keep the fucking haters away. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas wanna sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas better sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas wanna sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass niggas everywhere. Jealous niggas better sit and stare. DERELL better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Crazy people, let DERELL show you that old school loving. Crazy people, let DERELL show you that old school. DERELL show you that old school loving. Crazy people, let DERELL show you that old school loving. Giving me the blues, giving me the blues, yeah. Let me give it to you all day long. I know you watching me on YouTube. I know you thinking about me when you go to sleep, wondering if I can go deep. Feeling guilty when you're waking up in the morning and wondering what DERELL is doing. Wondering if DERELL can make love to you all over. People, let I may smoke cold. Mad that I put you in that number, but you still want me to be your lover. Every now and then when you get on a panel, speaking of me involved in a scandal, imagining if you were rocking with DERELL, the whole sector can tell. Creepy people, let DERELL show you that old school loving. Creepy people, let DERELL show you that old school loving. Giving me the blues, giving me the blues, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, creepy baby. I know you're thinking about me. Yeah. I know you want DERELL, baby. I know you laying in bed right now, wondering about me, looking at my videos, baby. I know you want DERELL, baby. Say you want DERELL, baby. I know you want DERELL, baby. Come on, creepy people. Admit it, baby. You want that old school loving. What's up, everybody? This is DERELL with the motherfucking conscious clientele. Happy to be entertaining each and every one of you late night tonight. I'm going to have a little chat tonight. You know, I'm not going to be on too long. I may do an hour and a half at the most. Just wanted to get some thoughts and some things off my mind. Just kind of thinking about things that have been going on within this sector and so on. Just want to give my point of view, my perspective on some things, you know. So, you know, been doing a lot lately, guys. You know, as you all know, I got my people from the other black sectors, particularly the manosphere, the other black sectors that's around the manosphere that do things. And then, you know, I'm in the pro-black Umar sector. I see my girl Faith in here. Man, I see my boy Red Pill Finance. What's up, Black Einstein Productions? What's up, Chaos Rain? What's up, Spot 'em Shot 'em? And so, you know, I love being in different sectors. I like the differences in the interaction amongst the people, the topics. And I get bored being in one sector. I really do. When when I began doing content, my content was not manosphere content. My content was really basically about my profession, and I every now and then I would do a topic that was current, you know, more of a topic that anybody would know about, something that would happen, you know, current topics or something that people like to talk about. And then, you know, come 2018, started noticing myself I started getting interviewed. You know, I did a controversial topic on Field Advice show and his marital decisions. And from that point, I got interviewed for a controversial video about that by the Information Man. For those that know the Info Man, um, then I started doing more pro-black stuff, then more Umar stuff, and then you know I got interviewed by Rashida, you know, back in 18. You know, then hey, things just happen the way they happen, and before you know it, I was always listening to the Manosphere, and I had a discussion with a brother, and I talked about, and multiple people in the space, those that are red pill or not. You know, the space was not, you know, even though there were a lot of people who were red pill, it was not necessarily a prerequisite. It was more of a space just for black men to speak their mind. At the same time, even though I was listening to that content, my personal content on my channel did not reflect that. And at that time, even when I was doing the Sunday Rumbles and I was on O'Shea's channel being interviewed and other people, my content was professional content on Black mental health and pro Black issues. And so when I started figuring out, like, man, there's a ceiling to this. Like, this sector, which at the time I didn't really consider it a sector, I just really considered me against the goddamn world, meaning the AFWs. And then I had a couple other people like C Rock and people who supported me and so forth. But it was basically me against a whole bunch of people. And I didn't feel like it was a sector. And it was becoming, you know, frustrating for me. And in that frustration, I was looking at, I kind of assessed the growth of my channel, the direction it was going. What's up, V Dub Boogie? And I just started saying to myself, do I want to fucking do Umar videos every fucking week? I have so much to offer YouTube. And the frustration thing about it, the things that I am the best at, people don't want to listen to that. Like, people did not want to listen to what the true value, what I have to bring. And that's on Black mental health. And I'm not coming from no goddamn biased perspective of it's all Black women's fault, it's all Black men's fault, and all that bullshit. No, I'm giving you the truth from a professional perspective. And the perspective itself is not meant to be entertaining all the time. Matter of fact, sometimes the truth of what I can analyze and assess from a mental health standpoint, you may not like it. And I'm used to resistance. And so I left the space and I said, you know what, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to go to the manosphere, even though I was doing, basically I was kind of between the both anyway. And I thought I was going to have intellectual discussions. The discussions turned to buffoonery and fuckery. And so when I came back to the Umar sector, even though I never really left the manosphere, I just started being more selective with the people that I was fucking around with. I was like finding out when in my absence, the very thing that I was looking for was developing why I wasn't there. And that was TC, that was Ghost, Tiffany, Flocka, to Speak Easy, and other people who like watching them. That basically knew my content and I didn't even know them. But I always followed anti-Afro because I always wanted to see the bullshit that she was saying. And for a good, I'm going to say from, uh, I would say from February to August, which was about 6 months, zero content was done on me until people were trying to hold me accountable for the fact that I would no longer publicly support Umar Johnson if the school didn't open 8/21/20 of last year. And I did so. But the Negroes got mad because they thought I was going to drive them, or I was going to, basically say disparaging things about him, negative things about him, run him through the mud. He don't care about you. DERELL where the interview. And so redundancy seems to spread like like wildfire, particularly if you're making money. And I feel you, V Dub Boogie. Much content here. Sadly, too many people trying to prove themselves. Yes, they are. They trying to prove themselves and they trying to make money.
They trying to prove themselves and they trying to make money. And I'm sitting here like, okay, money is not an issue for me. I don't need YouTube to make money because I got my own money. I got my own businesses. Money is not a reason I'm on YouTube. It's not driving me to do content. What drives me to do content is when I have effective communication and interaction with the people who like my content. That's why I do it. That I can connect with people of like-mindedness or even different and we can have discussions. So I come back to I was looking at my content guys in the past 9 to 10 months, and I'm seeing how I got into beefs. I started talking about Umar. I started trashing Lennon, bitch ass. And I was doing stuff. Then I tried to mix in some mental health stuff. And I noticed, man, like I'm only getting views on a certain amount of topics. If I'm talking about Lennon, if I'm talking about Umar, in the manosphere, if I'm talking about a current event that occurred or certain people beefing or people who are beefing with me because they don't like me, if it wasn't about that, I wasn't getting views. But what I did notice is that when I talked about relationships, when I talked about the fuckery between black men and black women, that was an interest of both sectors. Particularly if I came from a perspective that the pro-black Umar sector could necessarily associate themselves with or be in agreements with. That's why right now in my chat right now, people who are watching me, I got people from the manosphere and the other black sectors, the women's sectors who are watching me, and I got people from Umar sector. And I'm trying not to be redundant, but sometimes you run into what kind of content you want to do. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, this channel here is not going to be exclusively for Omar content. That's why I have the Sectors TV, which is, by the way, growing. It's over 130 subscribers in a month and counting. I don't do uploads. I mean, I don't do live streams. I strictly do uploads. I think I went live once. That's what that sector's about. And these fools, AFWs, think by preventing somebody else from being successful, that automatically uplifts yourself. And that's just not how life works. And so it leads me to talking about people such as Let Me See Your Transcript, like Shakim Ra. People like that who are delusional in their own right and don't understand the errors of what they've done. And the thing about it, the sector love that shit. They want to see a train wreck. They want to see people acting a goddamn ass. So that, people can put these people, content creators, in positions where they make them think that they're more successful than what they really are. I mean, I'm going to talk about mental health. I'm going to talk about marriage and family. I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm going to talk about the dynamics of the relationships between black women and black men. And I'm going to bring the appropriate research. I also noted, particularly on the Sunday, when I used to do a political topic. If you want to get people to come to you, talk about politics. So over the past few days, for y'all, for those that don't notice, I have not went live that much this week. I don't go live at all that much. But I want to talk about politics. I'm going to talk about relationships. I don't necessarily like to talk about relationships a lot because one of the reasons why I don't like talking about it so much because in YouTube there are a lot of people giving false information, and people giving a lot of false information, and they don't like when people make them aware of the bad information that they're giving. You're right, Red Pill Finance. Stick to what's true to you, and that's what I'm doing. And so my sector's TV will deal with the fuckery. I am going to do new content focusing on true grown folk conversation about relationships. And I'm going to give you examples. In this sector, KW Dunn say, Shasha Raw out here promoting androgyny. Shaking my damn head. Yes, he is. But let me get to the topic, man. You got me going in other areas. But you notice nobody talks about in relationships how to build love between two people. How is love developed? How can you develop the sense of loving someone and somebody loving you? Nobody wants to talk about the gradual development of the friendship that is a part of the relationship, where that person's leaning on you, you leaning on them. You're providing a sense of support and trust that they're not getting and shouldn't get from anybody else. Let's have grown up conversation about relationships. Let's talk about the building aspect of the relationship. People talk about, oh well, she's supposed to follow my program and she's supposed to do this and be feminine and submissiveness. But let's talk about what does that look like, Faith? Nobody wants to talk about what that looks like. Everybody's talking about what they want and what they're entitled to, but nobody wants to talk about the process in getting there. Nobody wants to talk about when you just marry. Everybody seems in this space. We need to have grown folk conversation. The fact that a lot of the success of your relationship is also contingent upon the people in your family, both sides of the family, and how they treat and interact with you and their influence on your partner or your family's influence on you. Nobody wants to talk about love. Nobody wants to talk about what that looks like. You see, this is why the incels in this community don't understand. See, I don't want to get clinical because I just want to talk to you all sometime. And this is something that kind of pisses me off when um in panels and just interact. Sometimes I don't want to be a fucking therapist talking to everybody. I just want to be just another Negro on the block, on another Negro in the space, just giving you my perspective, my own personal. I feel like faith, and for others that follow me, nobody wants to hear my personal opinion at times. Nobody wants to hear my personal opinion, but they want to criticize my professional opinion. Let me repeat that. Notice every argument that I have had has been in regards to me giving my professional opinion, and you didn't like it. And then when I gave you my professional opinion, my personal opinion, you claim I was being unprofessional. Make up your goddamn mind. And you're right, Faith. If you express love towards the opposite sex, you a simp or a pick me. And that leads me to understand that you don't these people don't understand the true dynamics of a relationship. That's why they are lonely, because they don't know how to love. They don't understand love, they don't understand sharing, they don't understand negotiation, they don't understand compromise. They don't understand all of the attributes that relate to a long-term healthy relationship. What they want is a fucking master slave relationship where I'm the master, you the slave. If you want my resources, then to live under this great condition that I'm providing, then you're gonna follow suit what the hell I say, when I say, and do what I say, and so on. That's not a relationship. And I don't give a damn. And for those, and this is another misnomer. People think they always going back to this 1950s and 60s shit. I'm sorry, black women back then even wasn't putting up with all that shit at certain times. Not all black women were putting up with that shit, because back in the day, let me tell you what the real black family looked like back in the day. The real black family back in the day, in the fifth, I'm talking about the black family, did not reflect the same way as in the majority culture. The real black family back in the day, and I seen this because I had grew up with both grandparents a large part of my life, and I seen other older folks talk about their relationships. You know what it really consists of? People fitting into a role and staying in their lane in the role, and they basically benefited from whatever they lacked the other partner provided. And let me go more into detail with that. So when I look at both my grandparents, and also other people that I seen, because I grew up in the church, many of those situations when I was a teenager or a kid, and when I would hear grown folks talk, oh, when I would ask my own grandparents, in all of those situations, the man worked his ass off to take care of 10 plus children. Because back in the day, I grew up in the South, and I grew up in central, I would say central Louisiana, basically closer to South Louisiana, but central South, the southern part of Louisiana, central southern part of Louisiana. Grew up in the South. Most of these men worked their asses off, and they worked long, strenuous hours. And you know what they did when they got paid? They gave the money to their wife. And you know what that wife was expected to do? To run that goddamn household. Make sure the goddamn bills are paid, food is taken care of, and whatever needs that needed to be taken care of for the children and extras, that money better stretched to take care of those things. And these men trusted their wives to not fuck it up. And you know what? Those women did not fuck it up. And these were women who didn't have a high school diploma. These were women that didn't have a college education. These women did not have master's degrees. These women went to school long enough to know how to read and write, do arithmetic, and take care of a fucking household. That's what they did. The simplicity. I'm listening to these. I get sometimes I get very frustrated listening to men and women that don't understand relationships. Koji Malik, what's up, Nakrome Toure? Salute to you too, brother. It is it is intellectually frustrating for me to hear people that don't know shit about relationships in their 40s and their 50s. And they sound like a 17-year-old just learning just on his first 18-year-old, 19-year-old on their first relationship. They approach relationships. They basically approach relationships as the dynamic the same way a 19, 20-year-old does that don't know shit about shit of life. So Coach Malik says basics of civility, reciprocity would be a start. Yes, but the teamwork, the cohesiveness of what a husband and wife is supposed to do. You're right, Faith. You don't see that now. But you know what, Faith? It worked. It worked. I'm not saying men should not um have a I mean, in my opinion, both parties should be involved in financial things, particularly in this time and day, because we're talking about saving money, we're talking about investing money, 401ks, and retirement. If you got a business, you got to operate. But what's missing is that it worked, and when they got married, those expectations were fulfilled. Those expectations were followed, and there was no misinterpretation of shit. And you know, the biggest thing that I deal with people who have marital issues, and this is what people got to understand. This is why, because I see this in a deeper, more deeper level, because I've been doing this, and you got people bragging about KS got people getting married. When you got people in here doing what I do that has saved marriages and have helped countless people get married. Matter of fact, I've lost count. My first 2 or 3 years, I lost count of the amount of relationships I helped. So I don't need numbers and I don't need testimonials because my work stands for itself. And you would think people would care about that, but again, you don't want to hear my professional opinion because a lot of people they're lying. The lies that go on in this space. These Negroes sitting here lying their asses off about how they claim they would treat a woman, trying to be stern and hard to deal with. And these are the same Negroes that will give up every fucking credit card and the bank statement to a woman that they met in 6 months, pussy whipped as can be, and then they mad and red pill because she took all the money. You see, this is what the space consists of. And I see the same shit in the Umar sector. You got niggas simping over women. I'm talking about true simping By the way, ladies, I ain't talking about this just treating somebody nice. See, a recurring theme in this space, man, you can't trust these women, man. They gonna try to take your money. They gold diggers. No, nigga. Talk about the fact that you only dated her because you liked how she looked and she wanted to give you some ass. And you didn't care about nothing else as it relates to the personal development of this woman. And you jumped the gun. You got pussy whipped. And she took you for everything she could get. And she had another boyfriend you didn't know about. And now you're mad. Because this is, I've had people telling me when I was sick back in 2012. Let me tell you a little story about me. I was sick in 2012 from, really, to be honest with you, I was sick for months. I really was sick around March, but I didn't really notice the weight loss until my brother told me I looked like I was losing weight when I went to Baton Rouge to go visit him and my sister in Baton Rouge. And my brother, by the way, it's my brother that lives in Wyoming. And my brother told me, he's like, damn, Darrell, you looking, you lost some weight, man. And I was like, okay, I didn't care. In that time, man, from really April to August, I was hospitalized like 5 times. I lost like 70 pounds due to hypothyroidism. My business was on the verge of just folding because I was sick so much I couldn't work. And you know who held the shit together? My wife. She held shit so that because I couldn't physically do shit because I was weak and shit, and I had to take potassium pills and shit, and I got hot, and not till the fourth time that I really the fourth time that I got it, well, really the fifth time it took. The medicines that I had, they helped, but they didn't really help. But the last time I went to the hospital, they really found out what was going on, and I had to go see this doctor, and I was in the hospital for like 5 days. One of the most crushing things that happened to me during that time was I lost a fucking federal contract that was worth at least for the business that I had. I could have been potentially, my business should have been making anywhere between $2 to $5 million a year. I lost a $2 to $5 million potential contract because I could not function. And I had to let go staff. I had a bad partnership with two other people. I was hemorrhaging fucking money. I was just trying to get better. My wife, while I was sick, held me down. The business was still making money, but I wasn't living like I'm really usually living. No, lost a bunch of fucking money and went into debt. But she held that shit down. And I had a whole bunch of fucking medical bills. But I had a brother telling me when I told this story to a brother about a year ago in the red pill spaces, This nigga sat here and told me my wife only did that shit because she knew you was gonna get better and make more money again. Discount and see this, and the nigga got mad at me, and I sat here and said, brother, how the fuck you gonna tell me that my wife discount everything of somebody I've been knowing since high school? She gonna discount all that shit because of me making money now when she basically was with me before I started making the money. I'm talking about college, grad school. But you sitting here trying to tell me in your red pill fucked up ways, your true red pill fucked up ways, that she only did that because was DERELL. She knew you was high value, and she knew that that money once you got well, you was gonna recap all that shit. No, nigga, she did that because she was in the marriage and functioned as a wife, and she looked at shit from the long term. She understood that that's what fucking a wife and a husband supposed to do for each other. You help each other when you down, you lift each other up. Because not only was I helped physically, financially, holding shit together, but also emotional. But see, this is what red pill ideology fuck y'all up at, is that you all have a low emotional IQ. You don't know shit about women. You don't know shit about women. You don't understand a woman's language. You don't understand her emotions. You don't understand her mindset. You don't understand the interactive um the interactiveness between one another in communication and expressing feelings and thoughts about things. All you niggas want to say is that, well, in a period, well, she could have left you. She could have just left you and just left you sick by yourself. Really? Nigga, really? Nigga, really? Or or like, matter of fact, some of these niggas, same niggas told BMT, man, if you do this BMT, for those that know who BMT is, he come, and they got people to check to know, man, your wife gonna leave you, BMT, if you do. I'm like, these niggas sitting here ain't never been married, ain't had a date in 3 years, don't know what a fucking pussy look like if it was in their face. And you gonna sit here and try to tell men who have had long-term stable relationships what they should do and what they wives should do. And you ain't never been married. You ain't never had a relationship. You never had a girlfriend. You never proposed to. These niggas don't even have the proper etiquette to propose to a woman. These niggas think they gonna tell a woman you gonna get married to me. What's up, West Bank VDA 504? What's up, Des Monica? And I'm sitting here telling these niggas, what are y'all talking about? Like, niggas, how you gonna sit here and tell me you don't even know me and you don't know my wife? But you gonna sit and tell me because she a woman, this is what she gonna do. And this is why you niggas are repetitively miserable. This is why you niggas in this sector, this is why you niggas are gonna continue to come on YouTube, because you don't know how to deal with real life. You don't understand what relationships are about. You don't understand humility. You don't understand You don't understand what these niggas talk about femininity. And I shake my head at women because to be honest with you, women, for the ladies out there that argue, why are you arguing with a man about femininity? How the hell a man, no man can tell any woman how feminine she's supposed to be and when she is supposed to be feminine. That's just like a woman telling me how masculine I'm supposed to be. These niggas don't understand femininity because they think femininity means you just fucking follow whatever I say and do and you don't question anything. That's not femininity. But I'm not going to sit here and tell black women how to be feminine because in my perspective, black women are naturally feminine until situations force them to be otherwise. Let me repeat that. In my opinion and experience, which these niggas don't have, black women are naturally feminine unless situations cause them otherwise not to be feminine. It's a reason why when you see a black female tired as fuck after work, working a 12-hour shift, and you niggas think just because you speaking to her and so she's supposed to smile at you after she didn't work the fucking 12-hour shift at the goddamn hospital or at a fucking retail store tired as fuck and people coming at her and dealing with all kind of shit. And she's supposed to just because on the rip of you being a man, she's just supposed to smile and be like, oh hi, after having a bad fucking day. This is the shit. These niggas don't understand shit. So then when I began to just be my person, just being me, because I just want y'all to understand, like me being a therapist professionally is not, I don't think the same way. My therapist mode is a strictly unbiased mode that is theoretically guided. Me as being myself, Darrell, I'm a little bit more blunt about shit, straightforward. You know, I'm cool, but I'm gonna just spit the truth. Me professionally, I do the same, but I do it in a way that's therapeutic because I understand the sensitivity and the fragileness of someone who has a mental illness or they have a bunch of stressors and so on because they're here for me to help. What's up, the African? What's going on, Tiffany? Yeah, niggas referencing the color purple scene. And it's the thing. These niggas, I'm gonna start calling these niggas Albert. Remember Albert was Celie's husband. There's a whole bunch of fucking Alberts around here, man. These niggas acting just like Albert. Albert was a motherfucker who just wanted a wife. This nigga did not connect emotionally with his wife. Damn, y'all just gave me an idea. I'm gonna start doing color purple clips. These motherfucking Alberts. Albert is reflective. You know why they like the color purple? Why they claim they don't like it? These niggas act just like Albert. These motherfucking Alberts out here. Now this is gonna be my content. The shit just popped up in my mind. These niggas are acting. The reason why they like the color purple is not for the fact that it was something in which they bashed how black men were acting back in the day. It's because Albert represented red pill ideology. And also, Albert produced a son that he also tried to influence to do the same dumbass shit. Albert did not connect with his wife. Albert didn't give a shit about his wife. Albert didn't even care about how he pleased his wife. Albert just went in deep and just was humping and puffing. And when he was done, he was done. Albert didn't love his wife. Albert never complimented his wife. Albert gave roles in which what he wanted his wife to do, and she better had fucking did it or he was gonna beat her. That's what Albert did. Albert knew, because see, back in the day, and this also reflects because back in the day, young girls were taught to be domesticated. So it also was a sign of the time. And because of technology, you're gonna have some women that they have to learn to be domestic, be more domestic in regards to learning homemaking skills and so forth. If they're not taught that in school, or their parents are not teaching them that. And so Albert represents the fact that, and his dumbass father too, that also influenced him to be this way. That a woman is only a vessel to use at your disposal to fit the needs that you have on a daily basis. The emotion of the relationship, the other dynamics of growing with one another, connecting with one another, having conversation, bonding, developing plans. Notice, Celie never got pregnant for Albert. And I noticed that I don't know if people really ever realized that Celie had other children which were due to incest from her dad. But Celie never was pregnant for Albert. Albert had a house full of fucking children that she basically went. And let's remember this. Celie went from having no children to now having to take care of a whole bunch of fucking children. A whole fucking matter of fact, man, I may do a whole fucking series since everybody wants, because everybody references the fact that the color purple was like one of the first, was the genesis of black women seeing, complaining and bitching about black men and things of that sort. And it led to men reference using that work, that movie, of what formulated black men needing to develop their own space to hold black women accountable. Yes, he climbs on top of me and does his thing, or he does it. She actually said he does his business when she was talking to Miss Shug Avery, who Albert really wanted. But see, but let's understand, Shug Avery represents a Cardi B, a Megan Thee Stallion. Shug Avery didn't want Albert, but Albert was a fucking simp. We gotta really, really dig deep into this shit. Albert was a fucking simp for Miss. Albert was a goddamn simp for Shug Avery. This nigga moved Shug Avery in his house, disrespected his wife, gave this woman a place to stay, and the woman was dirty. Just like her daddy said, his daddy, you heard she had that dirty woman disease. you know how Negroes talk back in the day. That dirty woman degree, that dirty woman disease. You see you see the duality in Albert. Albert's and see this is representative of niggas. I'm not going to say they name that do content. When you hear the themes of some of these Negroes in the manosphere, when they talk about how red pill they are, but then when they talk about their experiences, all the experiences relate to being a simp. Albert was a fucking simp. Albert, on one hand, put on this facade as being this strong black man that that ruled his household with an iron fucking fence. But when it came to Suge Avery, like he told Hoppo, this the woman who should have been your mammy. This the woman that should have been your mammy. This the woman who never wanted you. Never wanted you. Because if she wanted you, she would have married you. She never wanted. Suge Avery used Albert for money. Suge Avery knew Albert had money. Or like they like to say in today's time, she used Albert for his agency. Albert was a fucking simp. Hoppo was a fucking simp. This nigga was all mixed up. But you niggas that got these experiences, I'm trying to figure out how the Negroes with the most fucked up experiences trying to give the most advice. Notice that there's a nigga right now, based on experience alone, should not be giving women advice on how to find a man. And you all know who I'm talking about. Like, they got niggas with the most fucked up. And then you got, man, if you, these guys, man, that's why sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when you're on YouTube, when you are on YouTube, you have to be very, very skeptical of what you're listening to and why you're listening to it. Because I would not advise anybody, for 90% of the shit that you hear is not applicable to life. And then these niggas want to charge you $1,000 for a consultation. I want to know what nigga in they right mind. I want to know the dumbasses that actually pay $8.99, $5.99 for any course or any consultation with any of these untrained, uneducated Negroes. Please, please let me know. Yeah, Faith. Notice how a woman have to treat a man like Albert like shit for him to act to get some act, because Albert does not understand how to operate and function in a real relationship. And Albert female does not understand female behavior. He does not understand women, period. He only understands that because I'm a man, that means you as a woman, you're supposed to do XYZ amount of things, and that's it. When Sealy, and to me the most troubling thing was that the fucking look at when he went to Sealy's father to look for a wife. He actually wanted the younger daughter. He didn't want Sealy. Sealy was the last resort because his wife died, and he had a house full of children, a house full of fucking children that he could not take care of. He didn't know how to. So what he really wanted was a fucking babysitter, a glorified babysitter that he can fuck, and she would obey his every need. That's all Albert wanted. because Albert did not understand how to function in a relationship. Albert did not understand that part of being a husband is to do things to make your wife happy. You see, red pill ideology produces a biased mindset in which, because you're a female, you should not ask anything of me. I should be asking of you. And in that process, whatever you want is not important. Whatever I want comes first. And you, whatever remnants of that you may get, then so be it. Or you got people like Albert. Albert didn't give a damn about Celie. Albert cared less that Hoppo threw a fucking rock at her before, when he married her and brought her to the house, and he was telling them, "This is your new man." He threw a rock and hit the woman in the head. And this nigga didn't even correct his own children. This Negro did not did this Negro did not correct his own children. Hoppo threw a fucking rock and said, "She ain't my mammy." And I mean, because I remember this movie, man. But you know how I remember sitting this movie? I watched this movie a lot because my grandmother loved the fuck out of this movie. My maternal grandmother, my mom's mother, she watched this shit like 100 fucking times. And she liked the movie because it reminded her of a certain period of time. She reflected on a lot of shit that happened to her as a kid, as a child, and so forth. And so these niggas are Alberts. I'm gonna start calling these niggas Alberts. All these niggas act just like fucking Albert. One end, you trying to be hardcore red pill. On the low, nigga, you simping your ass off. And you weak, and you easily manipulated. And notice, when you hear these guys speak in this sector, notice how all of their sob stories of how women manipulated them because they did not have the wherewithal, they did not have the cognitive ability to decipher the fact that they were being fucking taken advantage of. Hey, I'm gonna say this. Look, everybody been guilty of being taken advantage of, or somebody's heart been broken, or somebody did them wrong, cheated on, blah blah blah. Look, this shit happened to me too. But you know what? You know, I never had no shit repetitively happen to me over and over again, where I had five fucking relationships in a row where the shit ended the same way, and I'm out of money, out of time, out of this and that. She didn't use me up for whatever, and then now I'm all distraught. You know, a lot of this shit that y'all experience is because of your own doing, your own fucking doing. Yes, man. My grandmother used to watch the fucking Color Purple. Like, man, they loved it. Number one, because of it, it brought them, reminded them of that period of time. Also, they liked the fact of the church, the gospel aspects of it. They, black. You know how black, especially previous generations for black. If you wanted black people back in the day to watch a movie, man, you put some religious, some church in there, singing, clapping aspects, they all into that shit. They love that. Even now, black folks now will look at Greenhouse. When Greenhouse was on that shit was a popular show because it was based on the black church. Tiffany, what's up, Tiff? Tiff says, "You think the movie was something you should have read the book. The book was, oh yeah, I heard about the book. I never read the book, but I know the book was a lot more graphic. The book was way better than the movie. I did hear. I've only known women that read the book. I don't know any men that read that book, but I know many various women that read the book told me that the book was 10 times better than the movie, and that's usually the case. Usually, books are far better than the actual movie because the movie has the edit and they have to they have artistic you know um, freedom to change shit up and stuff like that. All right, Faith. You have a good night, Faith. Appreciate you for coming in. Oh yeah, green leaf. I'm sorry, I'm saying greenhouse, but green leaf. I'm sorry about that. I mixed that shit up. So uh good. But this shit is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that you got to hear men talk like Albert. These motherfucking Alberts, man. These niggas act just like Albert. Talk to a woman any kind of way, ruin her self esteem, tell her how ugly she is, but you still fucking her. Tell her she ain't shit, she dumb, she stupid. You try to isolate her from anybody that loved her. You want her to be financially dependent on you and don't do shit. This whole thing, and let's not get this. We got to understand, the power will of control. And I also studied the Duluth model. We have to understand our domestic violence is rooted in control and power over another human being, and to convince that human being, specifically women, that you're the end all be all. You need me. You need me. You need me, and therefore you need to allow me to treat you badly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Albert was such a simp. Yeah, Shook was they were involved in their little situations. They were teaching each other how to please each other, and all that other good stuff, I guess. And the thing about that is that Albert did not care about pleasing his wife. Albert did not care about pleasing his wife. Albert did not care about his wife's happiness. Albert should have never married Celie. Albert should have told um her dad, well, if I can't marry so and so, well, I'm just gonna move on. I'll find somebody else. But nah, this nigga here, he wanted to just treat another person badly. So I got the link out here for anybody that wants to come up. We can chit chat for a little bit. You can get the link. But we really, really have to ascertain the purposes of. I can't listen to the same shit over and over. I can no longer sit and sit here and watch 5 videos a day throughout the day as I'm working and seeing clients in between, where I'm listening to in the morning. You got somebody like Bernard Raleigh talking about um, nobody's holding black women accountable, but they blame black men for everything. Okay. Then you go to somebody else channel, Kendra D. Black women, black black women will never respect black men, and this is why. Then you got another motherfucker coming up. Femininity breakdown. The next thing. Are black women the true mammies, the original mammies of the world? You know, some shit like that. This is the shit we relegated to. This is what this shit sounds like. What's up, Tiff? What's up, Coach Malik?
Hey,
Greetings, greetings, everybody. Hello. I just have a quick question I want to ask y'all. Don't you believe that their talking points are plucked completely out of the Willie Lynch letter of pitting black men and black women against each other?
I won't say I'm going to say that the if you look at the outcome of the outcomes that the Willie Lynch letter basically talks about, which is for the most part uh uh to basically cause confusion and to deter from unity and separation, to cause conflictual. I look at the end result and I can say that, but being that I've been in this space and I you know the shit really comes from, I hate to say it, a lot of this stuff comes from uh red pill ideology, comes from a guy from the Caribbean, and then also other white guys that came up with concepts and jargon to tell men that women are just innately inept and evil.
So why
But
don't we call
I
those
do
things
agree from a standpoint of the Willie Lynch letter describing how black people are going to be destructive to one another and so forth. And so the end result of that, I agree that it kind of describes that, but I don't look at it as if that was influential in how they developed that type of mindset. That's just me personally,
okay?
my opinion.
I think it begins with a lack of respect for what each sex brings to the table. We're not supposed to bring the same thing, but the respect level of what we each bring should be respected on the same level. Like one is no more greater than the next. I mean, if you go to work and you ain't got no food, you're kind of gonna get hungry. So they kind of both go hand in hand. But in my opinion, what I see a lot is that people want a place that they haven't earned. And that's like things are a lot in life, and they want a place that they didn't earn simply because something they actually had no control over. I don't require and I will not expect less respect because my gender. Words matter, tone matters. And I think people lack a basic civility. And I actually have heard people say, um, they ain't deserve like this person don't deserve respect. I like, no, it's a certain level of respect and civility accorded to every person, regardless of anything you know. And it's like in order for them to be perceived as manly, it has to be some level of disrespect to even other men, because I don't even see how a man will have enough crazy to sit there and talk about your wife to you, basically
Yeah,
saying, and I'm like, how could that's not who does that? That's like when somebody say, "Oh, you got book smarts, but you ain't got no common sense. You got book sense but no common sense." It's just some stuff. It's like, are you that dense that you think you can say that to somebody, and either you think you finna punk them, and they ain't gonna say nothing back to you, or and that's how it is. And these people think they should be accorded something not because they earned it, but simply because their gender. And then I think they expect submission from every woman. And I was like, what? Imagine if your wife just cooked and cleaned. Your business probably would have went under. Y'all might still be crawling out that hole if she just was a cook, clean, and a pretty face and a screw. women bring stuff to the table too. It may not be the same thing because everything is going to be different. You may have some households in which the woman is the masculine part because the man didn't do that, or what is perceived traditionally in that role. Because no, every man is not the same. Every woman is not the same, and it ain't even sometimes got to do with gender. Different people have different temperaments. You got extroverts and introverts. So if you're an introverted man, you may not relish talking and communicate with a lot of people outside, and therefore your wife may handle certain things, not because you are less masculine, but maybe simply because you're an introvert. And they want to ascribe certain characteristics based on gender, which really don't have any. Somewhat, some of it does, but it's not an absolute. And they want absolute in the
No,
box.
no flexibility whatsoever.
No. And so that's
And
kind
that's the
of
problem. And that's not how work. That's not how relationships work. Relationships have a sense of fluidity as it relates to how, based on every, and there's no one way of doing things. One
exactly.
couple is not going to work for the other couple. It's no set way a woman is supposed to be to function, and that's going to work for every man. That just doesn't exist. But again, we're talking about people that don't understand relationships. They don't understand how relationships function. And to me, and I've even said this to a lot of these guys, like, these guys sound like domestic violence abusers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Red
They
flags
sound
everywhere.
because it really did not become a, and I'm surprised it eluded me to this point, because when I started doing my training, because I'm actually getting a program accredited to do domestic violence work, even though I've always done domestic violence work with the perpetrators and the victim. But I was listening to this video that I was training on, and I started listening to these group of men in a group session, and I'm like, wait a minute, these people sound just like, and it just clicked in my mind, like, damn, this is how these Negroes really act and believe. And then I started thinking back on certain, I'm not gonna say name drop their names, but I know at least five guys that I know most probably committed domestic violence. I
You
know at
hear?
least five.
I mean, yeah, it's
At
scary because
least five.
it's
I'm
scary.
Yeah, like I'm talking about when you start saying shit like this is to me, like, because in the process, one of the things they talked about was they talked a lot about gaslighting, but they also talked about the fact that um when the perpetrator the male perpetrator would be confronted with his acts and describe how the domestic violence was triggered. It's out. One of the main things a lot of those guys would say was that she always calling the police on me and I ain't even do nothing. So you mean to tell me she called the police on you multiple times, but you didn't do nothing? So she just called the police for nothing. And the gas, like, it's like stuff like that. Like, well, she made me do that, and if she would have did this, then I wouldn't have responded in this manner. See, this is domestic violence language.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can make you hit somebody. Nobody can make you hurt somebody. As a grown man, you're supposed to have the discipline to not harm somebody, male or female,
And the
regardless
thing
of what
is,
they did to you outside of your life being at risk. But because you had an argument, that means she triggered you to slap her in the face.
it looked like the thing that's every now and then somebody could get up in your face, and that still ain't no excuse. But it looked like it don't take but a inch or half a centimeter or something to set these off. I say
Mm-hmm.
people be hanging on to their sanity by their fingernails. And some of this stuff don't look like it take much. It could be something unintentional, like I didn't hear you when you was in the house, and now you coming at me. It don't look like it take much for some of these people to
The
slip.
sad part about it, the real sad part is that this DV mess is getting so bad where it's middle school and high school girls are being beat up by their boyfriends. Can
Oh
you
yeah,
imagine sending your child to school in
and
middle
getting beat
school,
up. Yeah,
13 years old, and she coming with bruises on her arm because her dude beat her up?
But
right.
this stuff
Ooh.
is not new. This is because actually learning about it now is new. But I remember I'm 47. In 8th grade, the girl said, if he don't hit you, he don't love you. And today I wonder, I'm like, I wonder if
Now
she
she
even
learned that.
understands
She
this.
learned that
That's in her
from
This
home.
is
somebody.
what
She
we
that
was
that's something that was
13.
learned.
So it's not new. And
Yeah,
it always has happened. We're
right.
just getting to the point where we're talking about it. But this here stuff is old as
Oh, sad.
forever.
Yeah,
So sad.
And it's certain things, it's certain ideologies that contribute to it. And anytime you see another person, a person as less, and I'm gonna just a gender as less or deserving less or having less, it's easy to set it up. And some people don't have no discernment to say, okay, this next. Some people are, they are 1 plus 1 is, they are in the box people, and they don't have the flexibility to see nuance and different things. They just this, and they don't think they have to have a pre-programmed way.
Mm.
And I often say it was this book called Black Woman Redefined. I did not read it. You might have heard of it. But I think in the age we're in now, coming from hundreds and hundreds of years, there is a lot of men don't know their place because now we have technology. Now women are working. So the things that men were traditionally needed for, because in the past, a woman's livelihood and survival was linked to basically a husband or the man doing it because she couldn't work, she couldn't do this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But because men don't have that role, it's like now they don't need me. I got to either make them fear me or what am I going to do? And I think it's time for men to have a Black man redefined and even a man redefined, because they like these women, I almost say out of hand. Because before, I ain't got to do nothing but say, I'm gonna put you out. I ain't got to do nothing but not give you the money. Back then, you couldn't even get a credit card, a bank account, or nothing. If you leave me, you're gonna starve.
That's
Right.
right.
So now that I don't have that control, either I'm going to, and even back then they was physically intimidated, but now I got to yell at you, do this to intimidate you into staying with me. Because if you have to stay with me without being forced, would you choose to stay with me? And that's the thing. And it's scared to say, I'm not being chosen, or I knew Celia couldn't go nowhere, but when she did get the opportunity to go somewhere, she finally took it and left. And that was the underlying theme, that was a sisterhood underneath there. Even though Suge was going with Harpo, who was Oprah man, they was all sitting down there, and at some point in time, because of the times they end up supporting each other. And that's scary, because if to many, because if Silly didn't have Suge, didn't have Squeaks, Silly would have still been there in that abuse. But because she had some support that came with her, whereas in the past she would just been out there in the fields by herself with nobody. But when she did eventually get that help, she was able to lead. And then it's like these women getting together, they encouraging each other to leave these abusive situations. Now, so I think
Yeah.
men feel lost, and they got to redefine their role
It
and
kills me.
redefine.
It kills me how these men will always say, when I hear this makes my skin crawl. When they say people don't stick together like they used back in the used to, grandmama and grandpop stayed married for 50 years. Now all of a sudden women just up and leave, but they don't understand. Just piggybacking off what Sis said, women didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice.
Right.
My grandmother was getting her ass beat by my big daddy. He was beating the mess out of her. He was a gambler and a drunk. And he was beating her, and she had 6 kids, and he had 2 babies on top of her head that are in between my auntie and uncles. He was the sole breadwinner, and made a okay salary as a mason or some sort of plumber, whatever. He built stuff with his hands.
Right.
And she sat home with 6 kids. So she didn't have a choice but to deal with it. When he came home, he went and gambled off all his money at the track, drunk,
Mhm.
come home and beat the mess out of her with switches, belts, whatever, in front of all her children. And where could she go? So yeah, they stayed married for 50 years because Big Mama didn't have nowhere to go.
Right.
So I hate it when I hear men say that, like, whatever happened to them relationships, why marriages don't last, and then they
They
want
they
to
they, they they thought it was a paradise. It was just a paradise of this
yeah,
functional.
for
That shit
men,
was dysfunctional.
for men, it was a paradise. Who was holding men accountable? Nobody. Within our community, rather, within our community. Even if a woman did leave and go back to her mama will tell her, you better go make it work. Y'all married now. They did. Women didn't have no voice. And that's really
It,
sad.
we had did things to survive. We
Yes.
have somewhat survived, but we did a lot of dysfunctional, crazy stuff that we don't want to talk about because it's like they be saying this nuclear family. I'm from down south, so some of this stuff geographical. When they talk about women staying home, only thing I know is the women in my community, and that maybe that's just where I was. They went to work. They went
But
to
but see,
work in
my
the
thing is
fields.
this. See, this is what
The
I don't
man was
understand
on
with
the
this.
mule train. I mean, the man was pulling the corn. The women was on the mule train packing it. It was all both down there. And then my grandma and most of the women that I knew, um, they had long-term boyfriends, but their husbands had went on. It was a whole lot of people that was married on paper that were no longer together. And they be talking about this nuclear family. Everybody had the grandma that raised one of her sons, daughters, children, and stuff like that. So the mama, the daddy, and the children in the house, and that's it. That's never something that I really saw. It was always a combination of this, and it was always an uncle or a male cousin or somebody coming to my grandma house and sleeping on them here or sleeping in the room or
Yeah,
this or
the
that.
the
So
big mama held a lot of stuff together, to our own detriment. But my whole thing about I don't understand this infatuation with women staying at home. Like like in this economic climate, when I mean I'm like this. I don't see to me this is me. This is just my opinion. I don't understand why you want to limit your like you're not even thinking about what like say for instance let's say a woman wants to stay at home but the kids are school age, she wants to get back into the career field. Why is it so important that she stays at home? When she could be more productive and possibly making money to build and accomplish things and so forth if she was out working making a good living. A woman doesn't need to stay at home to be a good wife. I think women are able to balance the two, particularly if you got kids that are school age and teenagers. Well, you don't have. I don't see this whole fascination with well, she need to stay at home and cook and
having
like this is a different time where that's not like, back in the day. Okay, I could understand due to the technical times and so forth and the lack of opportunities for women. But now
Mhm.
I don't see that being as important.
But it's on having kids a small portion of our life. If you base your whole marriage on just having kids, that's your kids gonna be grown.
And they gonna leave.
So you still got so what's her role now? And women would be crazy because this is what I observed. I've seen men wait married, they had kids. Soon as them kids get by 18, if almost grown, I seen some because the what's considered a long-term marriage, moderate and short-term marriage. And I done seen some done got so crafty that when them kids get close to being grown, because they know that the boy's gonna take at least 18 months to 2 years if you got anything to get through. And by the time they drag it out, they make sure they get under that time of being a long-term marriage. So if they have to pay some alimony, it's not the same alimony what would be considered a long-term marriage. And a
Right.
woman would be crazy. And this was women who actually had careers. Like they came and say, oh, I was a teacher, but I gave it up because now it's cheaper to stay home with the child. But now when they get divorced after 18, 17, 18 years at the workforce with under 17, you ain't built up no social security. You ain't
Nothing.
built up no job skills. You ain't built up no retirement. And they literally going trying to change the law that you leave with nothing. And I saw all these white women that live good lives up there pulling out EBT cards.
Right.
And a woman would be absolutely crazy. I ain't talking about the people making the six figures. I don't know nothing about too many of them people. I ain't no
You'll be a
six-figure maker.
fool.
Man, that's just an internet fan. That's a YouTube fantasy.
But it take two incomes. I mean, the rent just for an apartment in Florida. I don't know what the other part of the country. About 8 years ago, I was paying $1,400 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. So when the average income is less than 50,000, and you're paying what's 14,000 times 12, how y'all gonna survive on that if only one person working? And most people ain't making. I mean, when you go and do median income of the people working, they not making that. You
Nope.
go and do the percentages. Why? So how y'all gonna live?
Only 4% of black people make over $100,000. Only 4%.
So if you got one husband, let's say he making above the median income, which I think it vacillated in Florida from 48 to 52,000, somewhere like that. So let's say he making 60,000, but you spending, because if you're making 60,000 and your rent is 1,400 a month, that's at least 14,000, 15, 16. That's about 17,000.
Yeah, that's about
of
17,
that
18,000 a year.
60,000.
Yeah.
That ain't a car. That ain't an insurance. That ain't nothing. How y'all gonna survive out of that?
You can't.
So to talk about having a stay when people ain't making that money like that is absolutely crazy. They not basing stuff in facts and numbers. And they say women emotional creatures, but I'm like, put that shit on stuff on paper and then come back and have that combo.
Yeah, women are, but human beings are emotional creatures. It's just that women have a tendency to tap into things differently than men. We gotta quit. We try to.
But you know, we've heard it so much that we've trained ourselves to go to the facts and numbers just to have. And when you go, you ain't finna get me on that. We're gonna talk about these facts now. You tell me how you gonna be the breadwinner with 2 children, insurance on top of that. What I said, about 16,000 a year for rent. Your health insurance is about another 8,000, 7,000. Now what we at? We at half of your thing. You ain't paid a light bill, a water bill. You ain't paid food, which is supposed to be another 30% of that $60,000.
Yeah, and clothing and any other emergencies that come about, car repairs, and there's a lot of other things that life presents.
Yep.
People make their most money when they don't have kids. You making your highest amount of money. My mom's like, I'm like, Mom, stop telling me that jump by you broke. You making the most money you ever made in your life, and you ain't got no children to play for. So at the time when you having the kids and the stress and the stuff, you making probably the least money because your income should be increasing as your job experience and stuff move up. So tell me, you're not going to even make it through the stressful times because most divorces, etc., are based on finances, not cheating, but finances.
Right.
So when you put all of that stuff together, we know, but it don't enter into none of these conversations.
They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear. A lot of these men believe that because they're born with a pole instead of a hole, that automatically by default allows them to lead. And they shouldn't be questioned at all. That's nothing but good old-fashioned patriarchy.
Oh, and student loan. I forgot student loan. So it's not realistic. And I don't care if I worked at McDonald's, Burger King, or whatever. sometimes that little bit of paycheck that person bringing in, even if it ain't the same thing you bringing in, is the difference between y'all making it or you having them extras. And when I say extras, I ain't talking about extras. It's the difference between y'all being able to eat out once a month or something. But to
Right.
devalue that and
Or
say
have a
you don't
savings.
bring nothing. And there was a nurse and she was saying since the pandemic hit, her husband wasn't working, but she always did the traditional thing. Even though she worked, she still did the majority of the cooking, the cleaning, etc. And now he wasn't working. And guess what? He still wanted her to do that. And now they was gonna have problems. She talk about leaving.
Yeah,
Because
because
now
he
I'm
should be,
working
since he at
more
home not
shifts.
working, he should be doing those things. See
I'm
that see
working
that,
more
that's the
shifts.
lack of flexibility. No
She
flexibility.
well, not me, but she's working more shifts. She's tired. So in addition, if you work 16 hours and you come home, you ain't only not cooked for yourself or cleaned up behind yourself, but now I got 8 hours to get back to work. My uniform ain't done. I mean, the least you could do is have me a little bit of something so I could go to sleep and get back up and go and do this next 16. But to have to
Man,
come home and clean up and cook for him after that, and they get in these roles and they're not flexible.
yeah.
And
But,
to
but,
me,
but,
it's a
but,
lack of respect.
before my wife worked for my company, I cooked like at least twice a week when she was, because she worked nights and so forth.
Mhm.
And I was operating a business and doing a lot of other shit, and still came home, and because I had the flexibility to do it and so forth. And there's no excuse to not, in communication, take up some of those roles and be flexible and not be so stringent on, because you the woman, you have to do this. That to me is not, you're not being a good husband in that sense. You just want to dictate things. I mean, you have to do things to make stuff work.
I don't think you're a good person in general because I could never see one person struggling and tired and not
Yeah.
want to give that person a hand, even to a stranger, let alone to somebody I'm supposed to love and the mother of my children or, my helper. I couldn't do that to a stranger. So to me, it's a lack of something in society that we don't train our kids. And I say it's cool to be cruel these days, that they lack the basic empathy,
Right.
to just do normal stuff, things that I consider normal, they consider simpish. I think they would consider the same thing simpish to men too. They wouldn't open the door for another man. They wouldn't help, you know, another man out, let alone a woman. They wouldn't help anybody out. I guess that's the times we're living in.
Right. What's up, Chaos?
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, what's good, man? So no
Hey.
topics. How you doing? How you doing? No topics. Is all the pro black women on top? I'm trying to remember one. I remember one on the right side. Parsley. Um, let's talk about the sector. So damn, dude, you taking a break from Omar? I know you're talking about the mass here.
No, I have another channel that's dedicated to that.
Oh, okay. You're creating a
Yeah,
channel.
so I
Okay.
don't have to do
Um,
live streams on that all the time. I have another channel that's solely, the Sectors TV is solely for that.
Okay. Well, you got really much going on besides one particular man that's I guess a telemarketer that's exposing himself of having intercourse with y- young girls, teenage girls, and
Are you
liking
talking
it.
about Glendon?
Yeah. Did I tell
Oh
you,
yeah.
Deidre, that I did not know this man was a black man? The
You didn't
guy
know Glendon
name
was
was
black?
no, I did not know he was black. No, he did not. Until
Yeah, the
this video
video.
came.
I mean, he's on camera when he was talking all
Yeah,
this foolishness.
yeah, I know that. But when I heard the name float around for some time before this guy came out and said his car talk about how he likes to have sex with girls that's not protected by fathers, shows the lack of value that male fathers are very needed. You know, we got predators out here that's seeking and looking and asking questions. Oh, you don't got your father in life? Okay, good. I could do something too. That's how they're thinking. And not only they say that he was trying to teach others how to predators, but most predators nowadays they don't need much teaching because they just normally do it. You know, it's like
That's
a
crazy.
instinct.
He was actually
It's an
going
instinct.
around teaching people how to be predators.
Well, no, this from what they said that one live stream in his car that he took down, he was teaching. You know, tell him how to
Well,
do it.
I guess you can
It's
say
not
that.
abnormal. When you go to prison, you learn how to be a better criminal. So they do that because and actually
Was
other
was was
men get
Glenn
off
ever in
on it.
prison? Was Glenn ever
Yeah,
been in
I worked
prison?
in the prison. I worked in the sexually violent predators unit, and they get off on telling their stories to other people. And of
No,
course, in
I'm talking about
prison,
Glenn and Cameron. Was he ever did time in jail,
yes,
prison?
yeah. Well, no, no, but I'm saying that's just something that they do. They like to tell their war stories to other men and give them tips on how not to get caught, how not to catch a predator. It's even if you've never been, that's kind of what they do. Plus, other guys get off on it. And that's what I noticed
Mm.
about the sexually violent predators unit. And by the time somebody get caught, they say they got so many victims under their belt. So even if he never been to prison, you still exhibit the same stuff
Oh, I
because
see.
that's
I
what they
see. I
do.
see. Yeah, man. So a big predator, and it's funny. He was on the lead attorney's channel, and he was just
Right.
spilling his tea. Now, some females were doing content on it and said this man should be somebody should report him. He should go locked up, get locked up,
He
which
should
he
be
should.
reported.
But my thing is, this is the weirdest thing about this community that how we really take proaction serious of all forms of predators. But because we live in this Western world and predatory and sexual deviance and all forms of Western culture, which is Eurocentric culture, is so prevalent amongst our community in our minds that we refuse to act and take more presence serious when it comes to children, boys and girls. I mean, we're looking at decades on decades, even to the point now where the government
It's
is.
not just the Western world. Actually, it's just not illegal in the other parts of the world. America has been slut shamed into making laws against it. In other countries, it's just not illegal. That's why ain't no arrest. This is not new. Actually, The Color Purple. Remember, Celie was still a girl playing with baby dolls, and it was perfectly normal. So it's not just the United States. This is a sickness that has been going on for centuries. We just have laws now to address it. And I'm gonna let y'all men talk and hop off and bow out gracefully. D.
All
Darrell, I
right.
look forward to our next argument. It was good to have an argument. You have a
All
good one.
right,
I'm gonna
coach.
listen from the clouds.
All
Oh
righty.
God.
And thank you. Yeah, it is. It is it is something that's a problem in the Western world, but it is also learned behavior. Now, in regards outside of America, where I hear stories that's going to content that they're selling women and children, from what I'm hearing.
Man,
I was.
they focus a lot on Glendon, but the thing about it, man, is other people, man. You've had people like Ringo talking about, you got people
Oh, you mean
like,
when the girl believes she's a woman?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, but hold on,
Yeah,
but
I
you,
heard
you
about
got
that.
other,
I heard about
yeah,
that.
just
Yeah.
and then also like little Big Nate and others. Like there's a lot of people in this sector
What
that
did Nate
believe
say about it?
a 14, 15, 16-year old girl is a woman. If she having sex, she a woman.
Okay.
So you got people
Okay.
saying shit like that, man. And they believe that if a teenager like that's 15 having sex with a 22-year-old man, then
Hmm.
if she woman enough to open her legs, then we got to treat her like a woman.
Okay.
That's the
Well,
foolishness, man.
my biggest issue, because a lot of people are getting emotional about this, is we live in the modern times now, and people, guys, we're not in old days where people get married young. Now things are different now. So when people thinking in that form now, they're not really catching on the times that you could do it, but you're gonna look as shame doing this now because we are more advanced people because we're not living old ways. Even to the point where some people use the Bible as reference, said we're not living in biblical days. It's not like back 56 years ago where you and your father or mother that got married at, I don't know, 16 or 18 years old. Those days are gone. So if people still thinking like that, DERELL, they're not catching on with the times. You get me? And people should be catching on times now since we're in the Western world. While laws
Right.
still hold up, the laws hold up where it says, okay, the laws put in place for this. And some men will go as far what the law allows them. Now imagine now that they're pushing now to try to lower the age of consent to make it more easy for pedophiles, because this is the last stage. You get me? And now because people are so emotional, majority of Americans, some are not going to be happy with, but some are, and that's where the problem is going to lie. Until everybody says this is not cool all across the board, now you're gonna have big government step in with the major players, which I did 2 years ago, on people that signed off that really want the age of consent to be lower. You get me? So like I said, people should really be very proactive to work even harder on protecting the children, because this system is gonna really, it's gonna be very wicked living in America, way how they're gonna start changing laws as well. We already know that homosexual things already come and pass. Now, final stage pedophilia, which they box them as the same, which they're one and the same anyway. So I tell people many times, be careful, just be careful. Somebody else on the panel, I'm leaving for them to talk.
What's up, Red Pill?
Yo, what's going on with y'all, man? How y'all doing tonight?
Good, man. What's up with you, player?
All good, all good. Just tapping into what y'all saying. As far as like the sector is concerned, you feel like it's kind of dry.
Yeah, it's getting, man. It's like I'm sitting here, man. I'm looking at content. I'm looking at stuff people doing, man. It's like people reaching for content. You got some like, say in the Umar sector, man. You got your boy. I'm not gonna say his name. He did damn near 5 straight videos on roasting the same people, including myself mentioning the thumbnail. I'm like, this is like people repetitively talking about the same shit over and over and over.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one though. You feel me? As far as like new content coming into this space, you feel me? It really have become repetitive, man. People arguing about the same shit over and over again. And they not really getting that from Umar, man. You know what I'm saying? He kind of like doing his own thing. So, and nothing really coming into the space. You feel me?
Right? It's like, man, and the thing about it is, man, is like like people like Ghost and other people, like people trying to do different stuff. Like he doing stuff on the Wire, and Shakim doing stuff on like celebrity stuff. And and my thing for me, man, I created another channel just to have those talks. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my thing is that, like, on my other channel, the Sectors TV, I mean, I could talk about those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I
Hmm.
don't want to use like my channel here to do live streams on the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, you don't want to miss the master. You feel me? Like you just want one channel for like your specific purpose. I definitely feel you on that one though.
Yeah, man. It's like, man, it's like I'm sitting here like, okay, um, it ain't making the sector grow. It ain't getting bigger. It's like stagnant. It's like the same.
All right, but what you feel like is needed for this to shake off and become something new, because you always said the sector will evolve.
Yes, and to me, you're right. It is evolving, but I'm looking at it like, even though it's evolving, it's like it evolved away from just merely talking about Umar, right? To
Right.
now talking about now it's like they talking about the content creators. Now they talking about the people who trolling and all that other kind of stuff. Even though it's evolving, you don't see the growth though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's the same amount of people that we had 4 months ago. It ain't
Yeah,
growing
you're
to
right.
where it's doubling in the size. The size is the same. It's evolving and changing, but it's the same cast of characters, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like last year, man, it was like a explosion, man. It was crazy. Everybody doing
Right,
numbers, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like even one time, like 100 people in the chat. You feel me?
right. And so now it's kind of like, is that it? Like, was this like a short term thing where okay, bam, it exploded. Like really, the sector really got bigger around October, between the latter half of last year, like September, October, no, around that time, it really started getting bigger. So now I'm like, okay, looking at this a year later, like what it seemed like it's the same. Nothing really changed. Nothing really. Same people, same content. You can kind of guess what even in the manosphere, man. You can guess. I can guess without even knowing who doing what the content gonna be about.
Yeah, I had to take a step back from the management, man. Like you was saying, the shit they talk about that just don't make any sense. You feel? And it just comes time to where like you just gotta grow up. Like this shit don't make no sense, man. Niggas 30, 40 talking the same way. Like, man, I ain't got time for none of that shit, man. Like I'm trying to the only way I'm gonna have a kid in this world if I'm gonna have like a real structured family, cause that's what I had. So I gotta do justice for my kid. You feel me? So a family with structure is needed, and the only real way to do it is marriage, bro. You feel me? So
Right?
at the end of the day, these people just gonna have to grow up. The thing that they got with women, man, this shit's sad. Like when I step to a woman, it's just automatic respect. Like I ain't gotta demand that shit or like say, oh, did this and that. And if she not like that, I just move away. Like I go to the next one. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, it's just
These niggas
people.
bring that shit up on the first date.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And the thing is, like, I think with me was like I had my dad, right? But like me and him cool, but we ain't really talk about all that. You feel me? So I'm really like just going off of what I see and just trying to figure it out for myself. But for these people, it's taking too long, G. It's taking too
It's
long.
taking too long.
It's taking too long. It gotta snap eventually, man. I think
I'm
they, I
gonna
need
say this,
they need your counsel, man. They need your
like
counsel.
red pill. I know you young. You like what, 23, 22?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Like I'm sitting here like, man, like the stuff that they talking about is stuff that you should be talking about. Like at 22, it's like these niggas they got niggas twice your age talking about the same problems a 22-year-old may want to
Exactly. I can't go for them for no advice, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
have.
I think I'm good off my own judgment, man. I'm an old head, you feel me, in the spirit.
I feel you, man. Whatever you feel works for you, but it's like when you got people, man. I'm like this, and this is where I start. I'm like, okay, man. Like I'm gonna say this: when I was when I was your age, right, 22 years old. Yeah, I would get with my boys and stuff. We'll talk about, man, yeah, this chick like this, female, this and that. But when I got in my 30s, men don't talk about women like that.
Hmm.
I mean, we'll talk about women, but not like that. Like we more talking about it from like, okay, this chick, this lady is a wife, my wife or your wife, or she married with children, or she divorced. We talking about marriage, divorce. We not talking about um why she won't give me no ass because after I paid for $100 date, shit like that.
Yeah, like it's just this
You got a
degenerate state, man. It's weird, man.
you got a 40-year-old men talking about shit about dates and shit, man. Like man, come on, man. Like really, you grown. You shouldn't be talking about this kind of shit.
Well,
Like
what make you what you think that caused this to happen for this like this? Because you said it was a space where a man came around and talk about a certain topic, but then you feel like it changed into this red pill state. So how you feel
yeah.
that happened?
Well, it always had been a red pill community, but but it wasn't a require. It wasn't like it was talked about, but it wasn't like it was like an understanding. It's like something that we knew, but it wasn't necessarily talked about. Nor was it something where if you wasn't red pill, people would try to shame you into why you a blue pill simp or shit like that. So for me, man, I think back in I want to say 2018. I'm gonna say 18, man. Around two. No. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say Late 2017, early 2018 is when I started seeing the changes.
Oh,
And cause see,
you
cause
said
when I
late 2018.
no late 2017,
Mm-hmm.
because what I end up seeing, like okay, like when I came in 15, I was just learning the space, right? And I didn't really, know like the only people that I really would watch in 15 was the first person I watched in the space was Jap. And then
Mr.
I
Job.
yeah, Minister Jap, man. Believe it or not, man, Minister Jap was the first person I watched. And then from Minister Jap, I watched um I saw some stuff on BGS. I didn't really like BGS, but I saw him, Hardcore Tito, and then I started watching O'Shea.
Mm-hmm.
And then really I watched it in 15, the fall of 15, but I didn't watch it that much, man. I was mainly in the pro black sector. I was, man, believe it or not, man, I was watching Polite, I was watching Sinetta, and I was
Yeah, me
watching
too, man. I was in the
and I,
conscious community, man.
yeah,
Me
I was in
too.
the I wasn't even watching this shit. So when 2018 came about, I'm gonna say probably around like February, something like that. I started watching. When I started watching O'Shea, that's when I started really getting into the manosphere. Then from O'Shea, I started watching Obsidian, and then I started watching other content creators, and stuff. But I mainly watch O'Shea, and I watch a little bit of Obsidian, and then every now and then I would watch Angry Man, and I watched a lot of Minister Jap.
Mm-hmm.
I watched, to be honest with you, Minister Jap and O'Shea were the ones I watched the most. And then every now and then other people, like, yeah, people like Solo, 84 TV, Kid Organic, and some other people like that, Black Ram. I used to watch they shit maybe once, like here and there. I just watch just to see what's up.
Yeah.
So from that point, man, what I started noticing, you remember that they had a gender war in 16, right?
Man,
2016, that
what?
was, yeah, they had a whole, man, people channels was getting shut down and shit. And so when I think, man, after that gender war in 17, a lot of content creators kind of maneuvered a little different. And in that, a lot of new people were watching the shit due to the gender war shit, like from other
Mm-hmm.
sectors, right? And then they started noticing the money that people was making. And then when that started happening, that's when I started noticing in 17, where you start having these niggas start talking crazy, coming in there talking about all this crazy shit. Because when I first came in back in 15 and 16, man, like they was talking about child support, they was talking about money, like people owning businesses and shit. They was talking about getting like certifications, like particularly they pushed a lot of stuff on like getting like tech, like doing tech, like getting certifications in tech. A lot of truck drivers was in there talking about getting CDLs and getting instead of going to college, getting certifications and training. And that's what, man. And they would talk about dating too. Dating was something that they talked about, but it wasn't the main thing, man. And you know they was just talking about anything that would be an experience that a black man would have to go through. Like we were just talking, and then they talk about politics,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, right? So those were the main things, man. And so then, man, when 2018 came along, that's when you start seeing full-fledged more content creators talking crazy. People start making these little clicks and shit. And it kind of, evolved into, what it is now, you know?
Yeah, cause I think I came in around that time, like around like 2018, 2019, and the content creators then, you got like people like Stephen Coles and all that. You know him,
Right?
right? Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
so people in
Dating
that
coach.
realm, yeah, like people around my age were watching that. You feel me? And to be real with you, I mean, don't get me wrong, they say a lot of good shit, but to be real with you, that's some toxic ass shit. You feel me? I ain't got time for all that, bro. Like, Can
right?
I just have a conversation with a female and not thinking about, oh, don't text her this and that. Like, no, I don't have time for all that, man. Like, I
They,
can put
they,
my
they,
time to something else.
yeah, they basically training you to look for something bad gonna happen, even though ain't shit happen, but you just gotta look for it anyway, just in case. You just can't chill and just let the shit flow, man. And but
Exactly.
but, but but you know what hurt the dating coaches? These niggas went live and was and they failed, man. Like AMS, that nigga talking about I'm gonna pick up some snow bunnies. And that nigga was scared
Yeah,
to talk to
man.
the women.
Yeah. Went out cold. You feel me?
Yeah, that happened to who else that happened to? What's the dude name? Lacario.
The choreo.
Lacario also but he not really in the but he dark skinned guy. I think he from I want to say from the East Coast or somewhere like that. Lacario did the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Lacario and he got an ad with Tariq Nasheed. He do like a Lacario got a date ad and stuff
Mm-hmm.
about how not to this nigga went out there. I'm telling you what Lacario did. This nigga went out there and talked about signals and shit, like picking up
Picking up women and
choosing
shit.
choosing signals, man. This nigga went out there for a whole hour by himself, and that not one woman walked up to him trying to choose.
Man, these people don't. I mean, you gonna wait eternity if you think a woman just gonna pop up and say something to you. You feel me? She gotta
This
really
nigga
like
sat
you.
out. This nigga was by a fucking train station talking about, yeah, I'm waiting, man. I'm gonna see who gonna choose. This nigga went out there for a whole hour with nobody.
And that would lead these people so single, man. They feel like a woman going to approach, and it don't work like that, man. It
Man,
don't work
women,
like that.
man, the only way, man, like I never forget, man. The last time I gave dating advice, I gave this motherfucking Ethiopian guy some dating advice on him because he was talking about he couldn't get a date. That dude called me back. This was when my last channel. Remember I had the DERELL channel.
Right.
Right a month before that channel got shut down, he told me he went on 3 dates. And all I told him to do was this, man. Like if a woman will choose on you, she gonna choose on you. Like if you want to increase the chances of being, let's say she come up and talk to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't gonna happen a whole lot. Number one, but if it do happen, it got to be in a situation in which, let's say, this lady familiar with you because she know you through another chick, another friend, or cousin, or somebody know you through work. It got to be something where she familiar, knows something about you to be just coming to, like she know you through somebody else.
Right.
It ain't gonna be no shit where you just fucking men cold approach. Women do not cold approach. Because number one, women don't cold approach because women are feared because of fear. Just they're the physically, we're men cold approach because we're physically superior. Women, imagine you a woman 5'2", 130 pounds, trying to cold approach. You don't know this big ass nigga 6'5", 220, 230. I mean, the fear that it's an intimidating type thing, and that's just not in women's cold approach. Approaching somebody like that also involves confidence and just an aggressive nature, and
Mm-hmm.
most women just don't have that unless they just that attracted to you that they just gonna shoot their shot. You know what I'm saying? Like women with intentions, cold approach. Like you gotta look like you got something she won't. Like women don't have problems cold approaching a nigga that they know in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like she already know you got money, so of course she gonna it ain't no
Oh, she
she
gonna try to shoot
already
her shot regardless.
yeah exactly. So but as far as you thinking the choosing signal, like is she staring at you? Is she looking at you? What's her body? Man, nigga, you sit there, man, you gonna be sitting there trying to crack the code and shit. You could have just off your own rip just holler at 3 or 4 women instead of waiting. You sitting there waiting on something to happen.
Exactly, man. They gotta learn that it's a numbers game, man. It's
Yeah,
a numbers game.
man, you
Sometimes
gotta.
women not ready for you. You feel me?
Yeah, like my thing is this, man. You trying to like say you 22 years old. You should be like, man, if I'm like going to a party, I'm gonna try to holler at least 5 women, at least 5. And out of those 5, I'm good if I can pull at least 1 or 2. It's the probability. I mean, then some nights I may not get none, but hey, I'm gonna still do it. You know,
Exactly, and it's okay, man. It's okay to
yeah,
get rejected. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's something I had to learn and take it to the chin. You feel me? Cause like
yeah,
once you
man.
feel like you that dude, hey man, they really losing out. You feel me?
Right, man. I would not. That's another thing. These niggas can't take no. They can't take if somebody turn them down, man. Like niggas can't handle rejection. Really, a lady turning you down don't mean she rejecting you. It may be that a lot of women, man, got emotions and shit, and it's like they may have just got out of a bad relationship. They just may not want to date. They just want to take a break. Women be notorious for saying I'm taking a 6-month break. I want to get myself together and all this kind of. It could be variety. You could be cool and everything, but she just not interested. It's
Right.
okay. Fuck it. Just somebody else gonna be. These niggas hold on to shit for 20 years, man.
Yeah, man. It's
20
really
fucking
sad,
years,
man.
man. I don't remember when I was in college. Even I don't remember half the people I dated. Or I don't remember half. I'm
You
just
don't
gonna be
remember the
honest.
rejections either.
I don't remember that shit either. Matter of fact, especially the rejections. That
Long gone.
shit is meaningless. Number one, you know, motherfucker, you don't really know this person. You just shooting your shot. Either she could say yay or nay. If she say nay, fuck it, just go on. And they got all these women in the world. You should not be all butt hurt because one said no.
Yeah, man. It's real. I don't know. Do you feel like because we don't really have like men in our life that like tell us how to maneuver and how to handle women?
I think that does have a lot to do with particularly young, like if you didn't with absolutely no male influence, you know, that can hurt, man, because you don't really know, like you basically in the world and not having no kind of preparation of what to expect from and shit. That could be difficult,
Hmm.
you know. But
Yeah,
I
man. I
think
feel like a lot of kids are learning from the internet nowadays. You
yeah,
feel me?
and they
From
shouldn't be,
YouTube.
man, because these niggas on the internet trying to get money, man. They ain't worrying about as long as they trying to get you to buy their product. They don't give a fuck if they telling the truth or not.
Exactly.
So my thing is with that kind of situation, man. I put it on the mom, man. Like if you got brothers, uncles, and shit, you should be having if you know somebody father not involved, you need to have your son, you know, around men, decent men. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like and have conversations, man. Not let them go without shit, with no playbook, and then you enter in life clean slate, not knowing how to, maneuver and shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
messed up.
yeah. That really messed up, man.
But it is, man. Dudes like my matter of fact, man. I be getting on my oldest daughter, man. But not my oldest. I got a younger daughter that's she 20. She's 20, and she
Hmm.
like to do that shit. Well, I learned how to do it off the internet. Like everything I learned it off the internet. I'm like, girls, like, but I noticed a lot of your generation when y'all like to go and look up shit and go on YouTube and learn how to do this
Yeah,
and do that.
man.
That's
I go
like
straight to YouTube, man.
yeah, like
Everything.
my youngest daughter is the same way. My other son, he like, oh, I can go Google it up. I'm like, man, everything is this, but I understand. Like to me, it's a useful resource to do that. But I also think, man, like if you go to somebody, they gonna give you more um practical information that nigga on YouTube ain't gonna really tell you.
Yeah,
Like this nigga went up there talking about he trying to pull a snow, but that nigga didn't even walk up to one chick.
it's crazy, man. That's why I'm careful where I go on YouTube now. You feel me? I'm very selective on like who I follow and who I listen to.
But you know, but see, this the thing that people don't understand. When AMS did that, this is the caveat that people miss. This nigga was the oldest motherfucker at that party.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, he was?
Yeah, that nigga like 38, around 20, 21 years.
Man, it just come a point in time when it's like, yo, man, I understand if at that point you should have your little rotation, you feel me? But I don't think I'm being clubs, you feel me? I don't
This
think
nigga,
I was 38, bro.
this nigga was 30. This nigga at the time. This happened like a year ago. This nigga was like 38. This nigga like 37, 38 years old. And you at a fucking party with 21, 22-year olds. You the oldest motherfucker out of place. And nobody really caught that. And that to me was the sign people just, they got caught up. AMS is not a in his 20s. This nigga's in his late 30s. So you didn't catch that this nigga was probably the oldest man there trying to deal with girls 19, 20, 21 years old.
Yeah,
They
it's
was
just
look, they was looking at that nigga like he the security guard. Not
exactly like he the bodyguard or something, man. Standing
yeah,
in front of, you
exactly.
know?
That's another thing, man. Like the spaces you in, like say, man, like for myself, like let's say if I was single and I'm 43 years old, I'm not going to no club with no 20-year-olds trying to look for a chick to date. No, like what? Like I'm the oldest. Why would I go somewhere where I stand out as being the nigga that the oldest person there amongst all these young people? Music, everything is past my
Exactly.
prime.
It gotta be a better place on that.
Yeah, man. Now my thing, if you going out, man, you got to go around in spaces where you gonna see people your age, or if you want to, excuse me, date a little younger, at least in their 30s. I'm not trying to be in no space with no damn 20, 22, 23 year old, adults and shit.
Exactly. Their
I'm
mindset
this
totally
old
different,
nigga.
man.
Everybody looking at me like the old nigga trying to act young.
No, I ain't. I hate to see that, man. I go to clubs, man. I'm like, yo, like, why are you even here, bro? Like, come on now, man. It's just crazy to me, man.
Nigga be eight, man. I never forget that it was a guy I knew when I was your age, man. We went to this club, man. And this nigga he actually owned a corner store. He had his own little corner store and shit.
Hmm.
This nigga sat in the corner trying to trick on the girls and little young girls.
They're
This
just
nigga the
coming to
old,
store.
huh?
That's just coming to store.
This nigga, because he got money. He had his own like little retail, little corner store and shit like that, making money, right? And then he also did farming and some other shit. But this nigga was the oldest. Him and his friend, they was the oldest niggas sitting in the corner. They was like 38, 40 plus years old, looking at the younger women.
Bro, it's just old heads that do the same shit, man. That's why we really gotta like change the topic, like, of what we even talking about. You feel me? As far as like bringing in new content, giving different perspectives on different things. You feel me? Like change it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like in the last few years, this relationship shit just been pushed to the top when it shouldn't really even be pushed to the top. It really need to be at the bottom. You feel me? It's way more important shit we really need to be talking about.
Right,
I rather see people uh self development and shit like that. Not because most of these people are damaged to begin with. You feel me? Like they really need to heal.
right.
So yeah, so we need to really need to push relationship to the back burner, man. I don't really
Look,
think culturally right now we not as a people now. I don't think we're really ready for all that.
yeah, man. I'm like, man, ain't nothing wrong with talking about relationship, but man, I'm not about to talk about no relationships, no fucking 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, Sunday. I'm
Yeah,
talking about a different spin on shit. I'm not doing that, man. Like, nigga, I may talk about it on one, but then the next 2 or 3 videos, they're gonna be on some. We're gonna mix this shit up. We're not just gonna talk about this shit every day,
exactly. We got to keep it moving, man. We got to keep progressing on other things. You feel me?
right? But they
But
don't, man. But I understand, man. Some people just want to hear the same shit and they gonna donate because the shit is somewhat money driven because they understand what they subscribers want to listen to and shit. And so they'll, even though it ain't really about what the subscribers want to listen to, they gonna basically create content of what they want, you know. But
Exactly. But I
ain't
mean, I
about to
like the
be.
message you give though, man. You should definitely continue doing what you're doing on that other channel. You feel me?
Yeah,
That's something
appreciate
like
it.
that is necessary. But like to be real, with you nobody really want to hear that shit, man.
Like
Just,
on my
just to keep it a buck.
yeah, man, right. Like on my other channel, man, I talk about PPP loans, finances, running a business. Then I focus on mostly mental health, but I'll bring in financial shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I want, man, it's a lot of money out there, man. The government giving out money hands and fists that they ain't never gave out in the history of this fucking country. And black people need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, man, definitely. I want to definitely start getting into those kind of spaces, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
Um, with my channel, I really want to work on cause I'm more of like I consider myself a libertarian. You feel me? So that's the kind of content I really want to focus on and my crypto. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just about changing what we're talking about and moving forward. Because like we all follow each other. We all have things that we focus on and like we excel at. So at this point, we really all got to just blossom into who we really are.
exactly. Right. For real. That's facts. And I just think, man, sometimes you gotta take a risk, man. Like I'm just gonna do a topic just to see how it's gonna play. You know, something totally out the ordinary. Just hey, I'm just gonna throw this topic out there, see what the response gonna be. You know, and then man, you know, doing that ain't gonna hurt either, man. Just experiment. You know, you come out your comfort zone.
Yeah, cause you never know what responses you get, man. Some people might be if like feel some type of way about that topic and hey man, they might actually even follow you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Cause see,
So you just gotta test the water.
yeah, cause I know when on my Life Solutions channel when I did the PPP loan content, man, I ain't expect that shit to get the views it got. Man, my first PPP loan content got over 3,000 hits. And at the time, I was just starting that channel. Like, I wouldn't get over 50 to 75 people watching. And then I did one topic on PPP loans on fraud. That shit got over 3,200 views. So I was
Ex-
like, shit, I may need to start talking more about this, you know? But I just basically, you know, took a topic just out of, you know, like, hey, let me just do this and see what happens.
Exactly, man. So with that channel, man, like with this channel, what you plan on doing?
This channel here, man, what I plan on doing is I'm gonna do more manosphere content kind of stuff focusing, but it ain't gonna be on the same shit that they talking about. It's gonna be shit that I want to talk about that can help black men, you know, and all women too. But I ain't gonna be talking about like, you know, why when black men, you know, do this, why when black men are down and out, black women don't support, you know, shit like that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I
I'm
had
not
I
I'm
had to
not
get
doing
rid
no
of that, man.
I'm not doing
Not
no
gonna
goofy
lie.
shit like that. Now, what I will do is this, man. I may say, um, why black men? Why are we not putting our money together to make more businesses? Some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that can help black men learn to pool their resources together. You know, to make the community money. Or I may talk about some tech stuff. Why it is. You know, anything in tech can draw people, but I'm mixing it up, man. It's not gonna be on the Umar stuff, but it's gonna be on things relative to the space, but it ain't gonna be just those topics they talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Because
So
my
what
thing,
like
yeah,
do you feel like this sector is dead?
I don't think it's dead. I just think it's at a standstill right now.
On life support?
Yeah, it's because see the thing, people ain't going live like they used to, man. But see, the motherfuckers, this is the thing, man. These niggas that I talk about when I do the sector TV, these niggas sit there, they doing content on the same Negro, you know, every goddamn day, every week, not changing up the same thumbnail. You know, the fuck, man. Like, come on. I mean, how many fucking Umar fucking thumbnails you got to see? and shit like that, man. Niggas talking about the same topic. Man, you can literally, man, let's say you can literally listen to somebody talking about some topic, right? Take your earplugs out for a whole 24 hours, come back in the next morning, and these niggas still talking about the same shit.
Yeah, man. Same
And I be
shit.
sitting there like, man, these niggas like, man, look, I understand there's a group of people that like to listen to that. But those group of people not referring you out to other entities to get traction.
Exactly. It's really people that only know about Umar Johnson or already in the sector, you feel me? Like other than that, people not really gonna find this. Like it's not gonna happen.
Right?
Unless you touching about other topics here and there or like, you know what I'm saying, hopping on other panels, like stuff like that.
Yeah, man. That's another thing with me, man. I'm kind of chilling on the on the panels, that panel hopping shit, man. That's how you get in beefs and shit. That last little beef I got to was based on me panel hopping and shit.
Oh, which
I'm
last one?
like the last shit. What I'm about to say? The last beef I had, like, remember I had beef with those TMHC girls and
Oh yeah.
Rollo and shit. Motherfuckers, man. This nigga be talking crazy, man. And he had some little issues with trying to do things. But you got to mix your content up, man. Your shit got to be mixed. You can't have the same slant over and over and over, man. Like, yeah. And to me, sometimes, um, some of the content ain't gonna do good. Some of it will. And see, look, this person is saying, "Have you done any videos on conscious energy?" Just wondering what your take. Yeah, I've done. I've done. If you check my archive out, I've done in the last 2 months. I've done about 3 videos on conscious energy, stealing that lady money.
Hold on. So I think I seen the live stream where like he was back. Like you cool with him now? Like
I'm not cool with him. I'm just not gonna. This nigga tried to, like, we tolerating right now each other.
tolerate, and so he didn't give her the money back.
That nigga, no, he ain't get it, and that's why I can't fuck with him, because this nigga talking about I ain't got the money. I'm like, nigga,
So
stop.
he ain't gonna never have sympathy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. This shit funny, man. Like, really, nigga. I'm not gonna sit here and
Like he gonna be forever down.
yeah, man. This shit.
Like I don't know, man. That shit crazy to me, man. So like, what's good
Man,
with this app though? What's good with the app?
man, nigga ain't got no money, man. Ain't no fucking out. This shit. This nigga lost. This nigga lost the pastor persona too. The nigga went back to just being himself.
Oh, and see on that same live stream, I was talking to y'all. Y'all was talking about y'all would still donate money if he brought somebody on the live stream preaching to them. I'm like, yo, this man full of shit. Like he literally just took this lady money. I
Really,
ain't.
man.
This man not gonna change in a few months. Fuck that. Nah.
This
Even when
this
he
nigga
bought the app, it didn't make sense.
this nigga said that she gave me a love offering. I'm not giving it back.
Shit crazy. And what? She's still doing videos about
Yeah, she ain't got no other choice.
him.
Fuck the fuck.
Until she got her money back. I feel on that one though.
she, and then the nigga lying talking about he worked. The nigga didn't work shit out. The chick went live talking about she ain't never talked to him and she never conceded anything to him. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not one dime to helping him, move or whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't know about conscious energy, man. That's kind of suspicious, man. Brian got 600 in the bank. He can like throw her. You feel me? I
Yeah.
told bro it's pawn the chains. You feel me? What's good with
For
that?
the change shit. Nigga ain't doing that. Nigga got too much pride.
Nah. I can't do that, man. We gotta hold him accountable, man. We gotta really hold him to the fire about that one, man. You feel me? Off rip, he should have just gave back the money just cause he's running a business. Now, if you want your business to be credible, you're gonna have to do credible things. This ain't credible, you feel me? So I definitely can't get that man no money. I wasn't finna give him money to begin with to keep it a buck.
Okay, you know, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, man. Like, man, these it. I just, man, like another thing I'm gonna do, man. I've been thinking of some content for the manosphere and shit. I'm gonna start doing like reviews and shit of like stuff that other people say. I'm thinking, you know how Charlemagne do a donkey of the day.
Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking about doing something called the dumbass nigga of the day, some shit like that.
Yeah, that would be nice, man. That
I want to
definitely
do
be
some shit
nice.
like that, man. Like I'm gonna take a clip, little 5 second, 10 second clip of somebody saying some shit stupid, and then I'm gonna put like a little thing, I'm gonna edit it out, whatever. And then I'm gonna say this the dumbass nigga of the day award goes to him for saying, try to make it comical and shit. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking about that, man. But I'm gonna be doing more like response videos. Like I'm gonna take other people content and chop it up, or just say anything. Because man, I don't know. Do you watch other sectors besides these on YouTube?
Yeah, I watch other sectors. I watch the manosphere. I'm really into finance, so I watch finance people in finance as well.
Right. Yeah, man. Like I'm gonna start going into other little entertainment sectors, and if somebody say something crazy, I'm gonna record it and do content on it.
Yeah, that's exactly how you get new followers, man. Cause some people just don't want to know about Umar Johnson, so you'll never reach them.
Yeah,
You'll never
man. And
reach
you,
those people.
and nigga, man, Umar got so much shit, and to worry about. They got so much shit trying to maintain and not to lose that property.
Oh yeah, I also got another question. How you feel about that last video O'Shea did?
The last video O'Shea did.
Yeah, about Umar.
Damn, I forgot. I remember. Was it about shit? What? I mean, he didn't.
Nah,
I,
somebody sent him a text saying where the school at, but he didn't reply.
oh yeah, I saw that shit. That was in that text. It was like a text or something, like a in the comment section on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit was funny, man.
What'd you feel about what O'Shea said though?
It's some truth in it, because the shit people trying to, people want to know when the shit gonna happen, you know. And to me, long until the school open, people gonna always throw that shot at him for that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That come with the territory, man. You take that kind of money from the community, shit, they gonna want to vet you and say whatever if it ain't happening.
Exactly. Hold them type shit. Hold
Yeah,
on,
man.
somebody just said content NG. Oh yeah, 45 million.
Yeah, man. Nigga took $820.
Shit crazy, man. I'm telling you.
This nigga here, Dwayne Stewart said right, but he paying someone hundreds of thousands for the building app, but you can't afford an $820
Damn, did that
pitch.
nigga get paid though?
Man, he got 820. That nigga made a lot of money off of me, man. But that nigga did that video with me, trying to AAS came on the platform and shit. Man,
Yeah.
that dude made about $5,000-6,000.
5-6,000?
Yes.
Dang, he came up, man. That's a come up right there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Man, Conscious Energy made money. Let me tell you how that nigga made money. Every time Conscious Energy went on my platform and put up his cash out, that nigga got money. When he did all them debates, he even if you win or lose, at minimum you got like $75. If you win, you was making $150. That nigga was actually eating off of the debate money that he got.
Yeah, he did have a few good debates though. I'm not gonna lie. He had some.
So I'm sitting there like, nigga, how can you say stuff and you doing the same shit or if not worse?
That shit
So
crazy, man.
yeah, but that's how he is, man.
And another
So,
thing, what been going on with Binary Code? I ain't hearing nothing from him either,
man,
man.
Binary been out, man. I talked to Binary 2 weeks ago, man. He came on the panel just to support me doing my content. But
Oh,
man,
y'all cool now?
Binary ain't really trying to make content like that. He just kind of laying low. I really think he just getting, he just basically trying to find new content, try to create a new routine or something. Because what he did in the past, it kind of, it came and gone. It worn out his welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like, well, you feel like everybody just in this space to where like they just trying to figure out something new. Cause I know Max Reed, he got him a little tech channel now. Seen a couple of his videos, so yo, DERELL, you can hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, brother. What you said?
Yeah, so I seen on Max Reed channel, he got him a little tech channel now. You feel me? Like I just feel like everybody just in that space of trying to reinvent themselves. You feel me?
Yeah, man, because they see, man, the numbers, man, they're trying to gain traction. My thing is this, man. If I could never do something where I'm just talking about the same thing over and over. That's how you get trapped, you know. And so I heard Max V doing this little thing. They got other people, trying to make a name for themselves. But the shit come and go, man.
Hmm.
Have you seen his channel?
Yeah, I still listen to Max V. I like when he touch on topics based on. I know he talked about that dude who ran away. I think he from Orlando. He
Right.
had that little run-in with the cop. Yeah, so I watch some of his videos whenever I can.
Yeah, see stuff like that, he do good, but this nigga still gonna say Umar, where the money, Umar when the school go,
Yeah, he
you
might
know,
sprinkle that in. You feel me?
yeah, Umar when the school gonna open, like conscious energy, man. This nigga conscious energy, nigga did a whole fucking this nigga trying to have like his own makeup room, like really on just talking about Umar, like get cash apps, this nigga trying to use it up for as much as he can get out of it
Yeah, man, but this
till
this
the well
this
go
cow
dry.
messed out though, man. Ain't no more milking this cow, man. You feel me? It's
Yeah,
time for something better.
exactly. So, but man, I'm about to go ahead and call it a night. It's 2:30, 2:32 mark, and it's after 2 o'clock, man. So I want to be up. I'm gonna get me some rest, man. So any last words, brother?
Man, nothing really much, man. Just take care, man, and hopefully I'll be fucking with your new content.
All right, player. Peace. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chaos. What's up, man? Any last words, brother? Chaos Rain. This nigga sleep. All right, guys, man. I'm out. DERELL, Conscious Clientele. Peace.